Woman of God, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you, sir.
This story you're about to share with us today, how important is it to you?
Very, very important. It's dear to me, and then I think at a point in my life I realized that my story is my message, my experience is my message. So I've been wanting to to tell it out to the world since forever.
Wow.
But then, the courage wasn't there. And in fact, when I encountered you, I had reasons to testify. But there is one thing I'm still trusting God for is confidence to be able to stand and talk to people.
Amazing. And we can't wait to hear your story. Run us through it.
Okay, so I'm from a very dysfunctional background. I have 3 siblings from my mom. So we are 4 in general, and I'm the last child. So my dad is an elderly man. He's 100 thereabout.
Wow.
Right now, yes. And so if I'm the last child, and our first from my mom is 35, so you can guess how old I am. So I'm quite young. When I was born, I met my dad being an old man. So there's no point where we had this father and daughter conversation, because where he is here, and then I am here. So there was no point in time we had good
Rapport.
yes, at all. And I grew up without my mom being with us. And when I asked questions, I was told by my elder brother, my dad gave us a very wrong picture. My elder brother is, he was quite young when all of this was happening, but he did not forget. So it was after a while, he now said, come, let me tell you what happened. What daddy is saying is false. So it was tough, and my dad did not handle it well. My dad, being a traditional man, went to the village to speak to people that my wife is misbehaving. She's having mental problems and all of that. And then they told him, and maybe it's because she's sleeping around. Maybe it's because she's doing dirty things. That's why. That's why she's having, is a repercussion. It's something. And he sent her away. I can remember I was quite young. My mom would come to the house just to be with me, to see us, and my dad would call the police on her. She fought one time. Maybe I was 6 years old or 5. She fought the policemen to a point that she tore their clothes. And it was bad, because all she wanted was just to be with her children. But she had to go. So they told her, I don't know whether it's a restraining order or so, because she's not educated. So they told her that she shouldn't be seen near the house. If they see her around the house, they'll get her arrested. But she was still coming once in a while.
Children. Yes,
just to see us and all. So I knew that she wasn't okay, but I wasn't in a position to help her, either to go to the hospital or whatever.
When you say she wasn't okay, like mentally?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Mentally, she wasn't okay. And I remember when I told her that I want to get married, I called her, I said, I want to get married. And she was shocked. She was like, she gave birth to me yesterday. Getting married. To her, maybe I'm still 6. I'm still 8, because she didn't grow with me. Yeah, she didn't grow with me. So it was very, very, it came as a shock to her. So, my childhood experience is like 100 years experience, because 1001 things happened in a year.
Wow.
A whole lot that I can use 3 days to talk about it, and I won't repeat myself.
Wow.
Yes. So talking about it now, I have to just pick from here, and just, I can't.
And put together.
I can't say everything the way it is. But when I grew up, or while I was growing up, we had this setting in the house that it is one man for himself. Yes. So there was money. My dad was okay. He was working with the government, and then there was money. We attended good schools, but it was one man for himself. And me and my siblings, we were not close. In fact, we started trying to build relationship from last year.
Despite being the same father and mother.
Yes, we don't have a good relationship. My dad stopped paying my school fees when I was in SS1. He stopped. So from my SS1 to this very moment, no dime came from any family member or my dad.
How did you survive?
Okay, so till today, I'm still owing my secondary school.
Oh.
Yeah, they allowed me write, my maths teacher, he allowed me write WAEC and WAEC. I couldn't afford NECO. He allowed me, he paid for me and said, later you come back and pay me. I was owing the school fees. I remember when I wanted to go for NYC and I went there to get my WAEC result. And the principal said, you are owing us first term, second term school fees. And you are owing Mr. Okay. He wrote it down that they should not release this certificate to you unless you pay me my money.
Wow.
Yes. So I was like, okay, I will pay. I even pay double, but give me first. He refused. He said the only thing is he can snap it and send it. Since when you go to NYC, you just need to write your details there.
Numbers,
yeah,
yes.
You don't need to give them the paper.
Yeah.
I said, okay. So I left. And that was how I went for NYC. And so I finished. I went to school, Kogi State University. I did my 100 level, my 200 level, my 100 level. It was a miracle. A backstory. I told my dad that I had gained admission. I wanted to go to school. He said, I'm not going anywhere. That I have to stay back and take care of him. I shouldn't go to school. I said, me, I'll go. I will go to school. So he started laying courses and said, if you go, you won't succeed. He was just talking and talking. I said, I will go. So I called my uncle, who is a pastor in Kubwa. I was in Lokoja. I called him. I said, this is what my dad is saying. He said, he can't say that. You go to school. So he came around and then said, I'm following him. Like, he's taking me.
To school?
Not to school.
Oh,
like to Abuja or somewhere. Wow. I'm not going to school. That he just wants to take me for a while. And that was what we told him. And he said, okay, no problem. And that was how I left.
Wow.
For 1 whole year, I didn't speak with my dad. We did not communicate. 1 year, for 2 years and more. I didn't call him. He didn't call me. No, how are you? No, what's happening to you? No, have you eaten? I remember, and my elder sister, we are 2 boys and 2 girls. So my elder sister was in 400 level.
Okay.
My dad had a land in my school.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Aingba. So he came to check it. I think he wanted to sell it, or he had cashew growing, and so I think he wanted to sell. And also he visited. And my sister was also sick. So he came to our lodge to see her. He didn't look for me. She was the one that texted me and said, Daddy is coming. He's coming around. He's coming to the school. He's coming to my lodge. Quickly rush, pick a bike and come. So I picked a bike and I came there. He didn't talk to me. I greeted him. He did not speak to me. While he was going, he counted money. I stood by my sister and then he gave her. I said, all right, bye. And I stood looking at him to say, take your own. He didn't give me. And then he drove off. I stood there and I was looking. I started crying. My sister now counted and then shared and gave me. And that was how I left. Till I die, I can never forget it. I was just standing. I said, this is somebody that has not seen me in maybe 3 years or maybe 2 years. I don't know, but I knew it was a long time. He has not seen me. He hasn't heard from me. Nothing. And then if you see the way, because I was broke, I was hungry. The bike I picked to that place, I had no money to even give the bike. It was my sister that gave me. So I was happy that at least today I will have like 2,000 naira or more to have food to eat. And then he didn't look at me. He didn't look at me. He didn't even, how are you? If he had even asked, how are you? And he didn't give me money, I'll say, okay, he cares and all. But he counted money and gave it to my sister. And then he tapped the driver at the front and said, we should go. And that was how he left. And my sister shared money with me. stayed with her for a while, and then I left. Each time it's getting to the point where I need to pay my school fees, I will pray. Like, I knew I had a problem, and I knew that since there is no father, there is no mother. It is only God that can help me. I knew that for a very long time. I drew very, very close to God. I was dedicated to church. I knew God, and I was praying. When it's time for school fees, I would start praying. I will pray. And sometimes I will pay my school fees, like exam is starting today, I will pay yesterday. God will just send help one way or the other. I'll be telling my friends today, exam is starting. No pressure. I will pray and I will relax. And it will come as a shock. You will know that it is nothing short of a miracle, how that money would come. Yes. Yeah. And then the money would come, and then I'll go and pay, and they'll say, okay, you're adding 5,000 extra because it is late payment. Fee. And then the extra would even come, and I'll pay, and then I'll write my exams, and we would proceed.
May I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
Some of the experiences you've had growing up, the dysfunctionality of the background, your mom not being in the picture, and then you said at some point when you look at her, you know that she was not fine.
Yeah.
Did that accumulate into like a mental illness for her or what?
Yes. We didn't take her to the hospital, but with how it started with her, we had to ask doctors that, okay, now I wanted to leave this until later, but I have to say it now. My elder sister is a bipolar patient right now. She has bipolar disorder, and right now I think it has graduated to schizophrenia. Okay. It's that bad. So she has a doctor. I had to speak to him. Okay, my mom, because they will ask you, is it hereditary? They will ask questions just to know where it is coming from. And then we explained to him, and then we told him that, okay, this is it. My mom was doing this, she was doing that, and all of that. Now, I would say for my mom, there was also a spiritual
aspect.
Yes, aspect of it. Because anything that is spiritual, when you take it to the hospital, they have a name for it. Okay. So my mom, according to my dad, when my mom was pregnant for me, she couldn't conceive me. When you give her food, she'll tell you that some beings have fed her, so she can't eat. So when her EDD was closed and they took her to the hospital, they said she couldn't push because there was no strength. She wasn't eating. So, and they said it's 50-50. It's either she survives and I die, or I survive and she dies. So it was like that, and they got tired, and my dad said they should bring her back home. So they brought her back home, and she had me by herself in the middle of the night.
At home?
Yeah, at home. So my siblings ran to my dad and said, Daddy, mommy is crying and all. And then he came. There was blood all over me, and I was rolling off the bed. Wow. I was going to fall off when my dad caught me. Wow. According to him. So he went out and called nurses and all of that. And immediately I was born, I think the issue now skyrocketed. Okay. Yes. And so.
For her?
Yes, for her. So.
So you grew up knowing that your mom was somewhere?
Yes, was somewhere.
That was not mentally fine?
Yes. So she was coming once in a while. In fact, I didn't know that this light-skinned woman that was always coming to the house, she would back me. So I didn't know she was my mom. Yes, until maybe when I was 8. Then I was able to I was a very smart kid. I was smart, and at the same time I was timid because of a lot of trauma. I won't speak, but I was smart. I was watching, and I knew some things that were happening at the time. So it was later I was able to put 2 and 2 together, and then I realized that, oh, she's my mom, she's my mother. Wow. Now I was home 3 years ago when I saw Mother's Day card that we decorated when I was in primary 5 in school. You know, Mother's Day and Father's Day, they say bring a cardboard, write a letter to your mom and decorate it, and to your dad. I was maybe 10 years old when that practical was given to us on Mother's Day. And I was crying. I was 8 years old. I was crying. So I remember my teacher asking me, why are you crying? I said, because there is no mother at home to give this card to.
Wow.
I read the letter 3 years ago when I was at home, and I was filled with so much tears. I wrote on the letter, I said, I don't know where you are. I would love to give you this letter, but I'll give it to Tina. That's my sister. I'll give it to Tina on behalf of whatever. I can't remember the English. I just wrote a lot of things in that letter.
Wow.
And when my teacher read it, she came to me and, no, he's a man. He came to me and started asking me questions, and I told him, and I became so close to him. I became so close to him. So, yes. So my mom, she's still sick.
Still sick?
Yeah, she's still sick.
And your dad old?
My dad
Now,
old.
you spoke about how this went on to affect you in terms of your response towards life. You feel that you at some point became bitter?
Very bitter.
Can you run us through that?
Okay. So, while I was in school, Mrs. Jennifer said something. She said, it takes the grace
That's
of God.
my last guess.
Yes. She said, it takes the grace of God not to be wayward.
When a father is missing.
I wasn't wayward. I was very conscious. And my siblings, they knew God. So in the house, I wasn't used to watching Nollywood. It is teaching. White preachers, I could name all of them. I know their books because of my siblings, my brother most especially.
Yeah.
So we're always in the house watching, teaching from men of God and all. So it made me have a very strong principle. My principle was strong and was very rigid. Very, very rigid. So while I went to school, when a guy says, I like you, and does something very minimal, it is heavenly to me. Even if it's just the barest minimum, it is gold to me.
Wow.
So I was in school and in 100 level, and this guy came and he was like maybe 7 years older than I am. And he came, I like you, how can we have a relationship and all of that? And I said, okay. And that was how we started. He was very abusive. This guy beat Shege from my life.
In a relationship?
Yes, I was in 100 level. So he would beat me and beat me on the road, in a restaurant, in the school. He will come to my lodge. He will beat me in the lodge so much that, you know, this curtain handle, right? He will remove the curtain handle. He will use it to beat me. He beat me to a point that I broke my eyes. My eyes were blood clotted, and this place was so dark that I started
Were you
using
married
glasses.
to him?
No, I wasn't.
You were in a relationship?
In a relationship, yes. He would come to, and he was in his family house with his mom and his siblings. Maybe he can just call me now, where are you? Or he sees a comment on my post on Facebook and a guy comments beautiful. And I reply, oh, thank you so much, dear. He will pick the next bike.
That?
Yes. He will pick bike to my lodge and he will beat me. He would beat me so much and injure me. So this was going on and I became popular.
For beating?
Yes. People knew what was happening. He would beat me until one day when his mom told me that if I know what is good for me, I should better go.
Wow.
He will beat me in the mom's presence. He will beat me in her presence.
And you had no one to report him to?
Nobody. I had a mentor, Dr. Kelechi Okoro. She's popular. I told her about it and she said I should come to Lokoja. I was in Aingba where my school is. So I went to Lokoja to meet her. I was in her house. And then she said, I'm giving you this money. Go to the police station in Aingba and go and report this guy so that they can get him arrested. I said, okay. She gave me the money. I came back to school and I gave him the money.
You gave him the money?
I gave him the money. We spent it together.
What was it like not having a family member you could tell?
I don't know, because, we had no relationship. My siblings and I, there was no relationship. So I couldn't, in fact, my siblings will be hearing this for the first time. Yes. He beat me so much. In fact, I had scars, I had injury. And in fact, there was a time he kidnapped me and my friend, my roommate. He kidnapped us. We were in a place just because I said I was not interested anymore. He said she's the one leading me astray. He kidnapped the two of us with some cult-looking guys, kidnapped us in a room. They beat us, they slapped us, and then seized my phone and said, I want to go and meet someone else after all he has invested in me.
Investment of beating?
I don't know. And he says so.
You did it for how long?
I think 2 years. Yes.
Wow, now that's a long time.
Yes. So from day one of the relationship to the last day was beating. Maybe we can go 3 days without beating. And I'm not saying to spank me small, no. To kick me, to hit me. We'll go to a restaurant to eat and maybe I just say something. And the slap, it will beat me from there.
What do you think gave him the audacity to do that?
I think because he knew I had no one. He had observed and he had seen that I had no one to come to my aid at the time. We were always together, and he knew that he had never seen daddy calling. You can be beating somebody and you see the mom calling or the dad, and then the victim picks the call and say, "Daddy, somebody is beating me." There was nothing. There is no big bro calling or big sis coming or daddy or mommy or Uncle Peter or Uncle James calling. There was nobody. So he knew. He held me hostage for days. I can't move an inch. I can't do anything. So while that was happening, I started a foundation in school. I was barely 18 years old. I knew that I had a problem, and I knew that there were 1,001 ladies in my shoe. So I picked cardboard papers and I wrote, "Say no to domestic violence. Say no to this, say no to that, say no to mental this." So I wrote it plenty, and then I went to meet girls. I said, "Please come, let's lift these placards, let's take pictures, let's protest, let's go on the road." And then they don't understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
So I started it with so much aggression in school.
Yeah.
I was barely 18.
Wow.
So we held the cardboards and we took it to the streets in school and we took pictures. I opened a Facebook page. I started writing. I had a lot bottled up to say. Things that I couldn't tell my siblings. I was writing them, making it look like I was telling another person's story. At the time.
But you were telling your own story.
Yes, but I was telling my own story. What I experienced from my dad. It sounds really casual, right? But every single thing I went through is like I grew up with an emptiness inside of my soul. A very deep emptiness that you can't get through to me. We can have a conversation, but yes, you won't get through to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you won't get through to me.
You've walled yourself.
Yes, exactly. And I was walking like somebody without shield, somebody without comfort. Like I was like an orphan. And then I had siblings that maybe they could stand like a mother or like a father. Nah, there was nothing like that because they had their own struggles they were going through.
Yeah.
Different levels. They can speak about their own experiences now as I'm doing, and I'll be like, okay, so this thing too was happening to you while I was going through my own.
Wow.
Yes, that was how it was.
Till today, your dad, did he ever find out that you dated a guy who was beating you like that?
No. We can never have such conversations. We can never.
Is he still alive?
Yes, he is. can never have such conversation.
While you were going through that abuse from that guy, where did that leave you mentally?
You know, the kind of cry that I've cried in my life, in my small life. I was always crying and I was always bitter. It built so much anger, resentment, pain, and I pass it through words.
Wow.
Yes, when my words they are poisonous. Now, I was not able to keep good friendships. There are people that I knew that God sent them to my life. I chased them away with the words from my mouth, even with my actions.
Wow.
Yes. You can't, when we are having, you know, this little misunderstanding you and your friend can just have or something, I will finish you with my mouth. I will curse you.
And the relationship would end.
Would end. I remember I had a friend, we were really close and everything was going smoothly. And the last thing she said to me was, Ufedo, I don't know what you are dealing with, but you need healing. That was the last thing she said to me in 2020 or 2021. That's the last thing she said to me before we officially broke up. We were having back and forth, talking and talking, issues here and there. And she just told me on the phone, she said, Ufedo, I don't know what you are dealing with, but you need healing. And she said so. So when I came across you, I now remembered what she said to me. It just came to my head. It hit me so hard. And I was like, wow, she was right.
You didn't know you needed it.
I didn't know. But, you know, when I started my foundation, even though I did not register, I couldn't afford to register it at the time. And I was carrying placards up and down. I was writing. I was ready to gather ladies down to talk to them.
Wow.
So something was missing. I knew that the message I was passing needs to come with healing.
Yeah.
I did not have it. So I couldn't give what I did not have.
Wow.
So I just packed ladies and I was talking and talking and talking. But this healing I wanted people or ladies to badly have, I did not have it. So I dropped it one side and I said, I will come back later.
Wow.
In the future. So when you came around and I was watching and I was listening to you, I was crying and I said, this is what is missing. I know it when I see it. I said, this is what is missing. This is what is not there. This is the emptiness.
Yeah.
This is it. I said, once I have it. So I was telling God, I said, I don't know. Maybe the things that Apostle know, help me to know them. Because I need people to hear this. Let people know. There are a lot of people that are going through what I'm going through.
Yeah.
So I was more concerned about other people getting healing. But I did not focus on myself until you came around.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's when I knew that, oh, I need to work on myself. I need to do something. It's bad. So when my fiancé came into the picture, his presence too now made me to realize that there is a big difference.
Wow.
He came from a family of love.
In
fact, when we went to Ibadan to meet his parents and I saw them hugging, holding on to each other, they were praising God, they were praying together. The love was a surprise.
You were shocked?
I was shocked. In fact, I didn't want to leave Ibadan.
Wow.
I didn't want to leave because it was new to me. It was strange.
Wow.
Do you know that, in fact, before we went to Ibadan, when his mother calls him every day, his father calls him every day, how are you? How are you doing? Sheti Jeon. I will get so pissed and angry. Like, why is your mother calling you? Why is your father? Why are your siblings checking? Why are you people checking on each other? Is it normal? Please, I will get so, when I see his mom calling him, the anger will just build in me.
Wow.
Why is your mom? No mom has ever called me.
Wow.
My dad has never.
Wow.
So when I saw that they were calling him, there was so much love to give. I was like, no, this is a red flag. Yes.
You considered it a red
Yes,
flag?
I said it's a red flag that his siblings, there was so much love. It's not possible.
Wow.
So when we now went to Ibadan and I saw that they were not pretending, no, There is
Wow.
love here. There is unity here.
Wow.
I was amazed. And now God did something for me.
Yes.
His mom is so in love with me.
Mm.
You know, when she's calling me and she's hugging me, she can just be kissing me and be hugging me and be holding me. And I'm like, wow. In my mind, I'll be crying. I'll be crying like, so this is what I'm missing. She's not my mom. And she has a lot of love to give to me. So I'll now begin to imagine what I have missed from my mother.
Wishing you had that.
Yes, I had that. I do not know what it means to have a motherly love. You know, if you experience it for a while and it goes, you can say, I have an idea. I don't have an idea of what a motherly love or even a fatherly love, what it means. At all. So I remember days I was in so much pain while I was at home because my dad would call me a child of shame, a child of disgrace.
Really?
He would, no blessings at all. They were all curses when he's angry or you do something just little. By maybe you break his glass cup. Oh, you are cursed.
Wow.
Yes, it was that bad. So there were days that I would just be in the room and I would be crying seriously.
Oh, true.
I took the Bible and I tore my Bible. I tore because I was a praying child.
Yes.
I was a praying child. I could see.
Yeah,
I could see things before they happen.
Okay.
Now you can be carrying a baby and then I'll just see a flash that the baby falls from your hand. And I'll tell you that baby will fall if you're not careful and the baby will fall from your hand. So I had a beautiful relationship with God as a child. So I was like, God, why are you letting this thing happen to me? So I took my Bible, I tore my Bible. I said, God, you are wicked. God, you are evil. I started calling God names. I tore my Bible and I threw it. My life was still going the same way. I said, okay, it's better. Just follow God. Whether things get better or not, just you have nothing to lose. Just keep following God. So I went back to God. I apologized and I said, please, I'm sorry. It was pain that made me. And one thing with me, when I'm talking to God, I don't talk like I'm praying. Like I have a conversation.
Rapport.
I sit down and I say, see, God, I know you are here. Do this, do that. And he answers.
Wow.
He answers. When I was with my ex,
The guy that
No.
Okay, the other one.
Yes.
Okay.
While I was with him, I was very bitter. He wasn't hitting me. But I was used to being beaten.
Oh.
So I want him to beat me.
Really?
Yes, I want him to beat me. I would provoke him to a point of getting a knife. Beat me, harm me, do something to me, like beat me. You don't love me, beat me. Like it was so intense. Now he would do a lot of things maybe wrong, and I would want us to, let's fight. Let's fight. Beat me. He won't beat me. He'll tell me, he said, I'll rather break up with you than beat you.
Wow.
Yeah. But I just wanted him to beat me because I felt it was a norm. It was correct. Because of where I was coming from.
You felt that you deserved it.
Yes. That I felt like if I do something wrong, he should beat me. That's the punishment. Maybe for
as a woman.
Yes, should have if she does something wrong. Or maybe when there's a small misunderstanding. And it was when my fiancé came into the picture, he made me understand that it is possible to have a relationship and a marriage without stress. He said his parents had it. I said it's a lie. It's not possible. We must fight, oh. I used to say that to him, we must fight. He said, see. So when I'm talking, he looks at me like, Sometimes you say, God, this is not what I want. God, this is not what I want. You say, God, this is not what I want. God, this is not what I planned for. This is not what I want. I'll be like, I'll always say, Farabale. That's what I used to say. I'll say, calm down. He'll be like, no, this is not what I want. And I'm like, you said, his parents had, in fact, till today, they have a stress-free relationship. No quarrel, no issue. He said his mother has never grumbled. Neither has his father ever screamed on top of his voice. I said it's a lie.
Wow.
So he said that's the type he wants to have. But I now remember I had to search deep inside my heart. And I asked myself certain questions.
Yes.
Is this what you really want? Is this correct? Is this right? Then I now remembered prayers I used to pray as a child. I told God that I want to have a good marriage,
Yeah.
a beautiful marriage. I want to love my children passionately. I want
Wow.
to be there for them.
Wow.
Everything I did not enjoy from my mom and
Yeah.
my dad, I want my children to
enjoy
enjoy it. I was saying to myself that I want people to look at my children and they are jealous because of so much love
Yeah.
I and my husband, we have to give to them. So when he came into the picture again, he started, when you bring a bad water and a good water,
Yeah.
you will see how dirty the bad one is. But before the good water comes, you can say, let me manage it. But when the good one now comes, you can see how dirty it
The
is.
difference.
But yeah, you can want the good water. I was willing to manage myself. I'm going to say, a man will come and marry me like this and I'll just go. But when he came into the picture, it was clear that I had a big problem. I had a huge problem. And he was very patient with me. He was teaching me. But I would scream and I would shout. I would talk. I would say a lot of things. And he would just be quiet. He's so scared. At a point, he was so scared of me. He can't say certain things to me. He would be careful. He would be counting his words. Maybe he wants to have a conversation with me. He has to prepare for it and maybe rehearse.
Yeah.
You understand? And one day he sat me down and he opened everything up to me and said, this is how I've been feeling. I can't talk to you. I can't do this. I can't do that. So when you came into the picture and I said, okay, let's leave the church we are attending and come here. He was so, oh yeah, let's go. Shebi is what will make you progress.
Wow.
I need to change you. Oh yeah, let's go. And that was how.
How has been your journey of healing since then?
Oh, it's been so beautiful. Like I said earlier, every Sunday after service, I would ask him, please, are you seeing change? Are you seeing difference? And he'd be like, yes.
Wow.
There's a lot of difference. There are times when maybe because we work together.
Okay.
There are days where he will do something to me. The me before.
Yeah.
I will say things like I will curse him. I will say things that
When you say curse, are you saying like literal?
Yes. Yes. I'll say it will never be well with you.
Really?
Yes, I will say so. I'll always say that. But he will do something to me now. Something in me will just tell me, calm down.
Yeah.
I can maybe just hear your voice.
Yeah.
Calm down. It's okay. It's not that bad. Just chill. Wait. And I'll obey. I'll just be calm. I'll just be calm. Then when he now comes to me, I'll start smiling. But inside of me, when I'm alone, I'll be like, did I just let that thing pass?
Yeah.
It's not possible.
I want to go back.
I want to go back. That's, this is not me. This is not me. Me, I will go back. Like, I want to go back. But then I will go back. I will just hear it again. Stop.
Wow.
Stop. Calm down. Go back. It's okay. Relax. Now, is that bad that I don't care who is around? I can fight in your presence.
Before,
not now. I don't care who is available. I don't care. Maybe they are his relatives. They said you just have to, even if you are the shouting type, pretend. I don't know how to pretend. When people are around.
You grew up, yes, like you said, in a very dysfunctional place. Mom was missing. Dad was not available.
Yes.
You dated a guy that was 7 years ahead of you while you were a teenager, which I want to believe that you did that because you sense that you could be safe.
Yes.
And this guy turned out to, your first experience of love turned out to be someone that was beating you.
Yes.
From your lecture halls to your hostel,
Yeah.
to everywhere. So it became a normal thing that you expect that you don't even see embarrassment in anything.
No.
Like anything can let people know what's the problem.
Yes. And how funny it sounds, I was so in love.
With who?
With the abuser.
Sorry?
Yes, I was.
The guy that was beating you.
Yes.
You loved him.
Yes, even with the beating. I was.
After the beating, how do you guys usually end?
My favorite drink is Chivita. He will buy me Chivita and chicken. That's my favorite combo.
When he's done beating you.
Yes, he goes to buy
what
that.
What kind of beating are you? No beating is palatable though. What kind are you talking about?
I'm saying the kicking, the punching, and the kicking, and then I was explaining that, you know, the iron that holds cotton.
Yes.
Yes, he will use it to beat me.
Like wipe.
Yes, I'll have swollen body. He beat me to a point that my eyes became blood clotted and hair was so black. So I was using glasses, and then somebody saw me on the street, say, you don't go follow person husband. The wife don't beat you. Not knowing that it was the man I was dating that was beating me.
Then he buys you chivita.
Yes, then he brings, when I'm done crying and crying, he brings chivita and chicken. And then hugs me and pets me. That he's doing this to correct me. He's doing this because he loves me. He wants me to be better. And then, in fact, after each beating, the love I have for him increases. It was that bad.
Could it be that there are women right now who are suffering the hands of abusers?
Absolutely.
Because there's nowhere to run to.
Yes, absolutely.
And you know, one of the reality of coming from a dysfunctional background is that it takes a good man to know that you have no family to fall back to, and will not use that to take advantage of you being alone. And I want to say a big thank you, first and foremost, to your fiancé. Thank you for being a good man. I just have to say that, you know, because, I mean, what you are saying is just so deep. And we cannot tell the number of ladies who are currently going through abuse because the guy feels your family is not treating you any better. You've come a long way. Yeah. You've journeyed from bitter to sweet. But there's a part also that I want to ask in respect to your relationship.
Okay.
When people who don't have parental figure that they relate with, father, mother, no relationship, usually it is difficult to relate with in-laws. You know, in some cases, either male or female don't even know how to talk to them. Will miss their calls, no remorse. Did you go through that episode?
Yes. I don't like phone calls. Phone calls give me anxiety because I'm not used to people calling to check on me. Wow. So when you are calling me too frequently to check on me, I can block your line and tell you that it's network. So it took me time to be able to accept pure love, good love. Even when he came into the picture, I was finding it difficult to love him because he wasn't bringing abuse vibes.
You needed abuse vibe,
yes,
to love.
Yes. So he wasn't bringing it. He was too cool. He was too calm. He was too good to be true. He was too good that I wanted the pattern I'm used to was trying so much to press a button that maybe will bring that wild. There is nothing I ever did that made him. He has never raised his voice. Sometimes I would be craving for it, but I wasn't getting all of that. So his mom would always call me, not just his mom, to people that are trying to show me love.
Yeah. I
would not take your calls. Wow. I will not take your calls. His mom, sometimes his mom will say, she calls me Ife.
Did I offend Ife?
You said?
Did I offend Ife?
Yes. Did I offend her? Kini Moshe. Hope everything is okay. Then he'll tell me that, call her back. I saw the call, but I would say it's a missed call. Because she just wants to say, how are you? Have you eaten? There was a day that we had issues. He had had it to here. And he said he's not doing again. Let's go our separate ways. And
you know, I just want to say something to people who are watching right now. Because this is one aspect that God has graced me in. And I want you to understand that usually when people are coming from a traumatic past, particularly background, if you confront such individuals with confrontations all the time, you lose them. Because life is already that hard. So, and it takes quite a level of effort to break in to the point where you are accepted. I mean, this is really deep.
Yeah. The issues in my family was so much that I got tired and I was looking for ways to just kill myself. So I went to the place where we keep medications, and then I packed, maybe the medication I packed can fill up this place. And I was just swallowing. I didn't know what they were for, but I was just swallowing and swallowing and swallowing. I saw different syrups. I drank them, hoping that, okay, maybe I'll just choke, and then my mouth will foam and I would die because I was alone in the house. I swallowed and I was sitting
How old
down.
were you when you were doing this?
Maybe 8. Yes,
What?
yes, around 8. So I swallowed them and I just sat. I was happy because I made this because of the Nollywood movies I've watched, that maybe they will just swallow something and they die. So I was very happy. I said, oh, finally, all these pains will be over and I'll go to heaven and meet God. So I took them and I went quietly. I went to sit on a chair and I just sat and I was waiting that I would die. I just sat, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. I didn't feel sick. With the level of medication I swallowed, there were so much.
Wow.
I waited. I was waiting. Maybe I'll cough and choke. I slept and I woke up well. Nothing, no sickness at all. I was so sad and I was heartbroken. I was thinking, okay, what can I do again that I will die? What will I do that I will die? I was just thinking. I said, okay. Now, it was later, years later, I was now like, why did knife not even occur to me? Yeah, years later, I was like, if I badly wanted to die at that age, there was knife. But I don't, at that point, knife did not even occur to me.
Yeah.
Nothing else, just medication, because that was what I was used to seeing in Nollywood, that works really fast.
Fast for them.
And I wanted to die without even feeling pains.
Wow.
So I waited and then nothing happened. And I said, okay. And I made a conclusion. I said, well, maybe God just wants me to stay small. So I now told myself, I gave myself a time frame. I said, let me stay small. If I stay from now to this so years and life doesn't get better, I'll just walk on the road and make sure that a vehicle hits me, knocks me down. Wow. So I had that in mind. It was part of my plans. I said, if things do not get better and my dad do not let me leave this house, I will just wait for a day when vehicles are passing. Let me just go so that a car can knock me down, let me die. I had that in mind. Now, that's my first molestation experience at age 8. The second one happened at age 16. No, at age 17. Where, I found solace in speaking with people online. Maybe I was chatting with women, chatting with men, and just telling them what I was going through and all of that. And then I found this guy on Facebook. We got talking and I started calling him uncle. So he was like, wow, you're so smart. You're a young lady. You're smart. I just trusted him. Then it was easy for me to trust anybody. So I trusted him and he was giving me attention. He was always listening to me.
Yeah.
So he was in school. He was in Angba, I think in his final year. When I went to write, I think post UTME, I don't know which exam I went to write before they admit you into the school.
Post-UTME.
So I went to write that when he invited me to his lodge. So I got there and then sat down and we're talking, blah, blah, blah. So he went to get drinks and biscuit. We ate. And the next thing is this man was trying to have anal sex with me. So I was fighting. No, you can't do that. I was like, no, I should keep quiet. He was trying so hard.
That's rape attempt.
Yes, he was forcing me. And the only thing I knew I could do, I started praying. To God. He was forcing me. And I've never heard or seen or hear anybody talk about anal sex. So it was even strange to me. So he was forcing his way, and I was praying until I begged him. And I told him, I said, please, if you let me go, God will bless you. Like, I was just saying a lot of things and I was crying. Forced me. His grip on me was so tight and I cried bitterly. So when he heard that my scream was getting so loud, then he gave me the key and then I opened the door and I ran out. So I ran out and about a year or two later, I was having a chat on Facebook with somebody under the comment section, and he came there to say something abusing to me. And then I said, you that goes about trying to rape young girls. And that was how a blogger picked it and said, though I was quite popular in Kogi because of what I was doing, I was into so many things. I was doing a lot of things. I was doing red carpet hosts. I would talk on air. I was very young, but I was doing a lot of things.
Yeah.
So in fact, the pageantry they do for kids, in fact, they made me the head of it. So I was doing a lot of things as a child. So I was popular. So the blogger, her caption was, popular Kogi influencer accuses ... of rape. That thing went viral with my picture. Wow. It went viral in the Kogi social media space. In fact, people called me because I had lots of followers on Facebook.
Wow.
So they started calling me, reaching out to me. This is what they are saying. Am I serious? Do I know what rape allegation is and all of that? That time I was with my abusive boyfriend. He saw that and beat Shege. He beat me. That's me. I'm bringing him to social media. I want the whole world to know about him. Him that is living a quiet life. He beat me. Now people drag me. Now they changed. Now when other blogs carried it, they changed the topic and said, ... raped Kogi social media influencer. Yes. So that was what was going around, and it was bad. This guy in question, he too was also popular and he was with the government. He dragged me. He called me names, said I was a flirt. I came to seduce him. Now his own response went far, very far, that people gave me a bad name. I was the victim. Nobody sided me. Nobody. But my elder brother did. He did. He sided me to some extent. But the narrative that had been passed was, people come under my comment section. I can be walking on the road. I hear sight of. In fact, when I was in my previous relationship, and we know sometimes you want to post your partner, they will call him on the phone that you are dating that useless girl, that they've raped her front, back, and center. They did the same to him too.
They did?
Yes, they would chat him, they would call him on the phone and tell him that girl, we know her very well in Kogi. She's a flirt. She does a lot of evil things. So, then this man in question said he was going to sue me, that I lied. I had no defense, nobody to speak for me. In fact, every day he was making different posts about me, describing what I am not. And the people on social media, they picked it. It got so bad that down until 3 years ago, when you type my name on Google, that's what comes up. Yes, that's what comes up when you type my name on Google. So he also paid some bloggers. In fact, they all changed the story. So it was later I learned that maybe he paid bloggers and then they twisted the whole thing. I never even said you did. My comment was, you that goes about trying to rape young people, and they changed the narrative. It was terrible. For days, I couldn't come online. I was crying. It's easy saying it, but no, I went through hell. People shamed me. People abused me. They said I was a liar, that I was just looking for money from him. Guess what? I was 18 years old at the time.
Wow.
Yes, it was a lot. I'm sure my even those that were my friends would want to believe him. He's a very good writer. The story he placed out there was so sweet that even me, I started to believe that I went there to seduce him.
Wow.
But sometimes
wow.
I would just think about it. I would say, no, that's wrong. I will not accept that. It's not true.
And that's quite common with abusers. They have a way of making the victim
look
like the one who caused
He was a serious manipulator. He manipulated everybody to believe. In fact, people started telling him, so sorry. We are sorry that this young girl could do this to you, to spoil your reputation. In fact, people started making posts apologizing to him publicly. People were apologizing publicly. So each time a rape accusation comes up on social media, people around me will be surprised when I always support the victim, whether it's an accusation or we have evidence or not, because usually there's no evidence for it. So when I'm supporting the
There's
abuser,
usually no evidence for
evidence
it.
for it. So each time I try to support the victim, people will be looking at me like, you can spoil people's reputation. I'm like, I've been there. I've been there and I know what I'm saying. This guy twisted the whole story. Everybody, down to people close to me that will feed together, they believed this guy. So it damaged me and it broke me. That's why I was trying to explain that the kind of tears and that I've dropped.
In this life.
Yes, I cry to bed. I wake up crying. I'm eating and I'm crying. I'm sleeping, I'm crying. I'm bathing, I'm crying. I constantly cry. So my experience, in fact, I've been arrested before. Yes, I had friends that they were influential and they are brothers. So I was quite close to them and all of that. So he offended me. I don't know, I can't remember what he did. Can't remember what he did exactly, but I knew that I was offended and I knew that my anger was justified. So I was angry and I was typing and I cursed him. I said, no, it will not be well with you. You will not be okay. Or is it because you think you have money, you can do this to me? I wrote it and I sent it. And this guy, I was in school, I was in my room and I heard a very loud knock on the door. Boom, 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 boom. Not normal policemen, no. I don't know what is their... Is it DSS or SSS or I don't know. They came with a Hilux.
Wow.
Yes.
So about,
yes, 5 of them.
How old were you?
Maybe 20 or 19. They came and then they bundled me into their Hilux and drove off. This is somebody that we're very close, like my friend, my paddy, my guy, because of that message I sent. So he called them, they bundled me and then they put me into their Hilux and took me to the station. And they didn't put me in the cell. We were somewhere around the counter and then they sat me down and they were like, what's the problem? And then I explained to them and then I showed them the text message. Even them, they were shocked there. This is the I've never been traumatized in my life before.
Wow.
Like, I was so scared. Like, I was talking, I was shivering and I was shaking. So they now asked me, what's the problem? I explained to them and they were like, okay, this matter no reach now for him to say we should detain you for as long as until he decides. So I called my friends, they came over, they started calling him, calling them, they were begging that they should please let me go, they should release me. He said, no, I'm going to suffer. How can I insult him? How can I do that? Blah, blah, blah. And after a few hours, they released and they said, okay, we could go, but first I should write an apology message to him. And then I did.
Wow.
I wrote the apology message to him and then we left. For 3 months, I was traumatized. I couldn't get over it. And when I look left, there's a problem. When I look right, there's a problem. I turn my back. Every area of my life, loads of problems around. Everywhere. I had no minute of peace. You see me peaceful, maybe I'm sleeping. I suffered insomnia. I had PCOS. My serious migraine. I was not okay. And it got to a point where I was so in pain emotionally that I knew that if something does not happen fast, I was going to run mad. I was this close. I was this close. There were days where I would just sit and I would scream in tears. Like I would scream, I would groan in anger from my belly. I would scream. And people would just come and hold me. I would just scream. It happens like later I started having palpitation. Later I started using an inhaler. Wow. Asthma signs started coming up because I was always crying. I was always crying. And you just see me, I'll just sit. We were in a lecture hall and I was between my mates and then the lecturer was lecturing and I just screamed. You know, they say when somebody, a screaming that is groaning, I screamed, and everybody, what's happening? What's happening? And that's how they gathered me, and then they took me out of the lecture hall. And I was just screaming, I just want to die. I was just screaming, I just want to die. They said, no, you will not die. And then they took me to my lodge. Then I came back home, called my roommate, my friend. She came to the house and I was quiet. I stopped crying. In the evening, I just sat again and my breathing went up from normal. It went up that you could be in the next block. You are hearing me breathe. So I was screaming and breathing so hard. She looked for the inhaler, brought it up and called my brother. He started praying. Even until 3 months ago, it happened.
Wow.
Yeah. Sometimes.
Whistling.
Yes. Sometimes I will just maybe think of everything that has happened. There are so much that I've not even said. Yeah, that some I can't even remember. A lot of experiences. So it will just come to my head sometimes and then I'll start having serious migraine. My head will just be banging. And then I'll just cry and I'll say, God, help me. But my life became better when you came into the picture. My life became better when Moses came into the picture. You know, he came and he brought light. He brought life. He brought grace. He brought peace to me. God. You know, when I was finding it difficult to love him because he wasn't bringing trauma and trouble to me, I begged God. I said, you know, how we met was even a miracle. And then I told God, I said, I know that you brought this man to me as my husband. I'm tired of feeling like I don't deserve him. Please teach me to love him. Wow. Help me to love this man.
Wow.
And boom.
Wow.
I started to love him.
Wow.
Genuinely. And now my prayer points changed. I said, please help me to keep honoring him, to keep loving him. Don't let me make mistakes at any point. Every bad vibe should go. He keeps praying for me every day. And I asked him, do you see the result of your prayer and this church we are going to? He said, yes, he's seen the results. I'm like, wow, okay. Even though sometimes deliberately, not just by prayer, sometimes deliberately I will intentionally not want to get pissed. Yeah. I can get pissed, but I'll choose not to take actions. Yeah. My phone suffers it a lot. When I'm angry, I'll just take my phone and then I smash it to the wall. Wow. Yeah, because my anger always wants to speak. I always want you to know that you did something. Yeah. So when the popular bimbo died, she burnt herself in the house and it caught fire.
Which bimbo?
There's IVD and bimbo story. Yeah, okay. She was married to IVD and then she got angry. They were having issues and she poured kerosene in the house and the whole place exploded. She died inside. Wow. Yeah. So when people are wondering, how can she do that? In my mind, I said, me, I can do it.
Wow.
Yeah. So I said, me before, I would do it. So I could relate to what happened to the woman. So people will say it's a mistake. I said, no, it's not a mistake. The anger comes with both trauma, pain, your experiences, everything, and you just want
mix
to
together.
Mix together. You can't explain. It's there. There's no English you want to use. You can't explain the kind of pain.
What do you mean by is there?
You know, not now anymore. Yeah.
Okay.
Not now. It's, I was telling him, I said, I can feel the pain fading away. Gradually. It's not easy.
Melting out.
Yeah, I told him, I said, please, you need to give me little more time. It's going to work. When you started from functionality to dysfunctionality, and when you were talking about...
And my book is coming out next week on that.
I can't wait to have it.
I can't wait.
So when you were teaching and you were talking about you need to forgive, you need to do this, you were so heavy. I was crying, I was screaming, and that breathing stuff started, and then he held me so much. Wow. In fact, people that were sitting behind me, they helped, because we were at the front. Church. Yes, people were holding me from the back, touching me, calming me down. I was screaming in pain. That's the first time that I was ready to plate the issue before God, everything. And then I didn't know I had so much problems until you were talking about it. That was when I knew that the thing had eaten me even more than I had realized. Wow. Yes. So I was crying in so much pain. And then when you said people should come out, I didn't want to come out. He said, let's go, let's go. I said, no, I don't want to come out. He said, let's go. Then I got up and we came out. You said we should pray. I could not pray. The pain was so much that I couldn't speak. Every single person I've ever trusted had brought me pain. Whether I caused it or not, they had caused me pain. So for my experiences with both individuals, it's so much pain, pain. All I know in my life is just pain, 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 until he now came to the picture. Yeah. And then you came into the picture too. So when you came into the picture and you were speaking, I was like, oh God, this man was made for me. I don't care about other people, but he was made for me. He had my message. And I told God, I said, everything that Apostle knows, please teach me to know it. I also have a message to pass. I want people people are going through what I had gone through. I need to bring them healing. And then I said, no, let me relax. Let me calm down. Before I run with that foundation vision, let me learn and get my complete healing before I go out to pull anybody out again. I said, okay, so. And the healing is happening faster than I thought. I was thinking it would take maybe 5 years, 4 years, but in 6 months, the difference was very, very clear.
Praise God.
It was very, very clear.
Praise God.
Yeah. It was very clear.
There's something God taught me, and maybe it's going to help people who are also watching us, to itemize the things that brought you the most pain. Then you put them under 2 categories. One is what you have control over, and the second one is what you don't have control over. Number one, you don't have control over the kind of parent who gave birth to you. You can't choose. Sure. You don't have control over the kind of experience you had. Now, the things that you have no control over, choose to have no regret about them. Accept them as the part of life you've gone through for a greater purpose, some that you have found now, some that you will discover later, And because most times the burden becomes weighty to the degree that we are clinging to the things that we have no control over.
Sure.
And, for people who are watching us now and have been asking themselves, and if there's anything, I think for me, this particular conversation is the most intense I've had on many grounds, because some men are probably watching this and now they can understand, okay, maybe this is what my wife is going through, or my fiancé, and maybe a woman now, is watching this, and you can now understand, the reason why that person is behaving the way the person is behaving. Or maybe you are the one who is also hurting and you can hear from our story and now you understand. Because one of the reasons why stories are important is that it gives perspective. Yeah. You look at yourself and you can now understand the reason why you are doing the things you're doing. No, you can be doing things and not even know why, So for the sake of those who are watching us at this moment, if you are going to give a word of wisdom as touching how to heal, which you are experiencing in fast pace. And I must say that what I'm seeing now and compared to what I saw when I first met you, the difference is clear. You've come a long way.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited to see that. What will your advice be for those who need to heal?
Okay. There's something I didn't know before that made my anger intense and lingered, was that this is going to last forever. Now, I accepted the reality that this thing is going to continue. It won't stop. Then I said, this is me. This is how God created me. Please, that is not how God created you. Now, there is an end to it. In fact, 5 years ago, if you tell me I'll have the life that I have now, I'll say it's a lie. It's a complete lie. Now, there is a lie. See, the devil will also feed on your anger. Now, it will push you to the extreme. Now, the anger that comes from your trauma and your experience might be 50%. Now, the devil will give you thoughts in your head. The devil will speak to you when you're angry. He will push you. Go, do it, and be able to identify who is speaking to me. At that time, there were a lot of times that I knew that this is not the Spirit of God. to tell me, do this now, go, push, push. But you also have a will power. There's something called the willpower. I had this so strongly later that when my healing started, he started telling me that stop, don't do it. Stop, don't do it. When I listened to it, I became better. So you should always listen to that part of you that says, don't go ahead, don't proceed, hold on, wait, there is an end to it. If I can get to this point that I am, I don't care what it is you are going through. You can also get to the end of it. You can also get to the end. I'm a miracle. I know that I'm a miracle because I would have long been dead if I listened to the voices that played in my head. I would have long been dead. But in fact, Mercy said no. My will, the will to live, the will to teach, the will to also let people know that your experiences do not define you. It is what you make out of it.
Wow. This is, the devil is in trouble. The devil is in trouble. And for some reasons, when I'm hosting my guest, I try not to put out details about them so that they are not targeted for attacks or whatever the case may be. But I think, and I want to say this categorically, that God has given you a word for those who are hurting. And one of the things I look forward to is to see you express it beyond this platform, to give life. You know, the areas we have experienced death the most is also the area where life will flow from the most. You know, people listen to my teachings, and because I still have one more to go this year, which is titled Heal. So I still have one more series on that to go. All right, I plan to do that around my birthday as a gift to the body of Christ because I couldn't finish them. Now, people listen, and I've seen testimonies, I've seen people break down in tears and say things like, oh God just sent this man to heal us. But what they don't understand is that the healing is coming from the area where I'd experienced the worst form of darkness. You know, like living through your life, I didn't have what I wanted to become in future because I felt there was no future. I felt I would have died. I was so certain that between this time and this time, I would have killed myself. Like, it was a normal conclusion. No glimpse. You understand what I'm saying? No glimpse of, this is what I'm going to marry. I was too certain I would have ended it all. You know, so from that same place, life is flowing. You have so much to offer. Too much. And I want to thank God for you and your journey. And also, I'd like to request for a part 2. And I think this is the first time we are doing that. I'd like to request for a part 2 because we have only touched a part. Yeah. So now we need to get into the family part. So we're going to be able to talk through. And then when you are ready for that, then we can also have that. Okay. And maybe by the time we're having that part 2, it's going to be on the other side. You and your, okay? Yeah. All right, wait for the gist later. I want to thank you so much.
Thank you so much
for making out your time. How do you feel sharing your story?
I feel relieved.
Wow.
Yes. It's like a burden in my heart has dropped.
Wow.
Even though the healing was happening, at the same time, I couldn't wait to share, to speak.
Wow.
Now I feel so relieved, like a burden has left my heart. Now, preparing to get married was when I realized, vendors will ask you, what picture do you have in your head for your wedding? They would always ask. But I tell them, I don't have any picture because I have never envisaged that I wear a wedding dress. It has never crossed my head. Girls, they'll say, okay, see me walking down the aisle with my dad. Never. It has never crossed my mind before. So it was when I was now saying, okay, let me start having it in my head. I started planning. So he will say, okay, yeah, suited, you with your wedding dress, and I don't have the picture in my head. But until I got up, I said, no, I will get married. That day will happen and it will come. And I also share it again.
Man, this is phenomenal. I want to really thank you for sharing this very powerful story with us. And it takes vulnerability to tell your own story. And I can only imagine the number of people that have been healed and touched because of this story. Look at thousands of people. We can't tell who is breaking down in tears right now, realizing that this is the reason why I do what I do, and want to really thank you. And to everyone who is currently in the process of healing, you are not bad because you are healing. The devil will try to sell a lie to you, and that's what she said.
Yeah.
He will try to convince you that this is who you are. You are not better than a bag of sand.
Yeah,
You're
and
just
that God does
someone,
not love you.
yes,
It's not true.
to push aside. He likes to, he uses our pain as a fuel to do bad things in our lives. That you will know you are not alone. And you are a fighter. And you are going to win. And one day, so people will look at you and struggle to believe what you've been through. It's a struggle believing, you don't look like what you've survived.
Exactly.
Hang on. Don't believe the lie of the devil that you have to end it all. Don't believe that lie. Don't yield to that lie that your marriage is going to be bad like your mother's marriage, or you are going to be a promiscuous man like your dad. Don't yield to that lie. You are going to be different. You will win. And God is on your side to help you fight your battles. And I want to thank you once again. It's been
so much, sir.
An awesome time in the studio today. And till we come your way again next week, keep watching stories and make sure you subscribe on this YouTube channel and get this to as many people as possible. Let them hear this story of hope, of restoration and healing. Together, let's heal the world. God bless you. Have a great time. Bye.